So many natural wonders to see along that Great Ocean Road. It stops just east of Warrnambool, but if you keep heading west, less than 2 hours away is Cape Bridgewater, where you'll find Australia's largest seal colony. They live in the sea.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Cape Collection from livingartlifestyle.com. Travel-inspired artisanal lifestyle homewares, designer fashion and jewellery.
You'll find if you see more ways to live your life than you could ever dream. Pack your bags, hit the road. One town at a time, girl, come on, let's go. Let's go.
A Martian panorama, contrasted by the harsh Southern Ocean. Australia's vast desert interior encroaching on the sea. A jagged, sharp rift in the landscape, torn asunder by Neptune. A stark contrast to the scale of the smooth lines of the faultless crescent that defines Bridgewater Bay, saddled upon the remnants of the rim of a once massive volcanic island crater that dates back to the Pleistocene epoch.
Wow. Bridgewater. Wow, hey.
Wildlife abound, the Cape is teeming with movement as wallabies bounce by and birds flutter past. The vegetation is diverse and dense, and the coastal shrubs found here have adapted hard, waxy leaves to survive the salty winds. Grass trees, hakeas, wattles and eucalyptus such as the unusual soap mallee with its large and woody root grow here. Flowers such as white and common correas provide a rich food source and safe haven to at least 66 rare and endangered species that are found here.
Just being here is absolutely incredible. Like, we are up so high on the edge of a dormant volcano lava flow that Port Bridgewater is a part of. And it is amazing. You can feel that energy here, just how extreme the cliffs are, the height, the depth of the ocean, and you can still see a lot of that basalt rock. It's incredible. And the seals, the largest seal colony in Australia is here.
This is awesome, this walk. Part of the Great Southern Walk. The trek down to the seal colony. 2-hour return trip, they say. The unmistakable stench will let you know that you've nearly arrived.
The hike to the seal colony, snaking along the cliff's edge, offers a breathtaking perspective of the mainland. Standing at some 135 metres tall, this is the highest sea cliff in Victoria. 2 million years ago, this was the top of a volcanic vent. These cliffs are formed by layers of volcanic ash called tuff, part of an enormous volcanic belt that extends west from Melbourne for some 350 kilometres, almost to the South Australian border. The crater later collapsed along a fault line and subsided beneath the ocean.
Gosh darn it, downhill, which means it's uphill again on the way back. Oh, it's a hell of a hike, but it's well worth it. Here at Cape Bridgewater, on our way down to see Australia's largest land seal colony. Just was the top Victoria's largest sea cliff edge. This is spectacular.
Wow, I finally made it. What a workout to get to this seal colony. But most definitely worth it. The largest seal colony in Australia. So here we are to see the puppy dogs of the sea.
Now the world love's arrived at the door.
You get to capture my experience firsthand.
Crying out for more. It's feeding time.
Look at them. You can hear them too.
But you know
They sound like cows, hey?
Yeah.
Once a very prolific species, they were almost hunted to extinction way back in the day. And the few that remain have chosen Cape Bridgewater as their home.
Remind me of dolphins a little bit with the way they move. They're a bit different, a lot more fluid again. Lovely community down there. I love it. They're so rough and wild and they're just having a ball. I wonder what makes this such a special place for them.
That's a great question, Sasha. It's because the continental shelf here is really narrow, which results in a unique ecological event called the Bonnie Upwelling, an irresistible banquet and one of nature's greatest feeding events, which occurs each year between November and April. Put simply, upwellings are powerhouses of oceanic nutrient cycling. Driven by prevailing winds, the process of upwelling draws deep, nutrient-rich cold water upwards towards the ocean's surface, replacing the warmer, usually nutrient-depleted surface water. The nutrients in upwelled water consist of decaying plant and animal matter that had sunk to the ocean's depths. As it rises to the surface, it creates an explosion of microscopic plants, which in turn feed great swarms of krill, and so on and so forth up the food chain to the immense blue whale, whose water spout can be seen up to 10 kilometres out to sea from the top of the cliff. It astounded me to learn that upwelling events like this only cover 1% of the ocean's surface worldwide. Just 1%. However, they account for 50% of global fisheries production and are vitally important habitats for marine fauna. Thus, it's vitally important to protect these habitats from overfishing from the likes of super trawlers and the damage that gas and oil exploration can play as well.
Such a spectacular sight, this. Wonderful.
To protect this special place, Discovery Bay Marine National Park was declared in 2002 and forms part of a network of marine national parks and sanctuaries managed by Parks Victoria. The new life spawned from these upwelling events are an irresistible banquet for a vast array of marine life, such as fish, dolphins, whales, all manner of bird life, and of course, seals.
Now there is a very distinct line between the two colonies, the Aussies and the Kiwis. Well, those seals, they don't get along exactly. They respect each other's territories and stick to their own side of that divide. However, both breeds have chosen Cape Bridgewater here in southwestern Victoria as their breeding ground. I reckon they sound like donkeys.
I think you're right. Yeah, they're meant to be very different in their behaviour and they have a deep respect for each other's space and they stick to their own territories. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between them.
Males of the Australian subspecies can grow up to 2.2 metres in length and weigh a whopping 280 kilos, whilst the females are 1.2 to 1.8 metres in length and can weigh up to 110 kilos. The New Zealand fur seal is generally smaller with a slightly pointed snout and a darker coat.
So let's go explore the Kiwi fur seal colony. For some reason I'm having trouble saying the words fur seal.
Spending most of the year at sea, males haul themselves ashore for mating in the middle of October to establish territories through display, vocalisation, sparring and sometimes actual combat.
Here we are, we made it all the way to the end of the seal colony lookout walk.
They fast at this time and do not eat until after mating in November or December.
Such a spectacular part of Australia, Cape Bridgewater, is where you can find Australia's only fur seal colony that you can find on the mainland.
Just when you think you've seen all the seals, you see a heap of other ones popping up from all the white ocean froth. It's very special.
Have I got your seal of approval?
Yes, you do. Big tick there.
A unique genetic phenomenon called delayed implantation allows a fertilised egg to lie dormant within the female seal for up to 3 months before it starts to develop, ensuring the pups have a higher chance of survival, always being born in the warmer summer waters. With a year's gestation, mating begins a week after the previous season's litter has been born.
Gorgeous. Such a harsh landscape. The Australian and New Zealand fur seals are at home as they frolic through the ocean waters here. Quite spectacular. It's kind of nerve-wracking. It's like you're on the edge of the world.
As we dance in the rain. Oh, it's pouring down. Just wait till the wind blows. Wait till the wind blows. I've been here before. Left wanting more. I'll drop once again.
The region is classed by the government as the second most important coastline in Victoria after the 12 Apostles along the Great Ocean Road. Our furry friends are the frothy sea. They look so innocent and playful. It's easy to see how such a graceful creature could be hunted to the edge of extinction. Just watching them play, one gets the impression that they are incredibly curious creatures. They seem to have an endearing nature to them, 130 metres up on the cliff edge anyway. I guess a lion looks like a cute fluffy kitty too when they're lounging about. The disbelief that this is the only colony of its kind. It's sad to think that this is all that we have left after 2 centuries of sealing. A place of reflection on humanity's shortcomings. It's quite sobering, the destruction of man. The animals forced to retreat to locales unforgiving of mankind.
The earth shook and I quaked.
Living Art Lifestyle, the love of your life.